Hey everyone, welcome back. Of course, Tex once again, open source program manager at the open source office at Intersect. We got another project or organization introduction here. This is going to be Charli3, and we're joined by Damon. Damon, go ahead
Hello.
and give yourself a quick introduction there.
Well, hi, I'm Damon. I'm one of the co-founders of Charli3, along with my co-founder Robert. And yeah, we've been building this Oracle in Cardano for the last just over 3 years now, so it's been a good run.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you. We've got a couple of questions for you here today, Damon. Starting off,
Awesome.
we'd love if you could provide us an overview of your Oracle and realistically its mission within the Cardano ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean that's a great question for any project, I think. But let's just say, what an Oracle is to begin with for the people who may not know. It's a protocol, kind of an intermediary protocol that is taking on, typically very specified and focused for off-chain data, so things that aren't written onto Cardano Ledger, and being able to bring that on in a decentralized, technically the word is trustless, but for the regular people, a trusted source of data coming in through many different operators. So you can always be sure that this data is correct and up to date so other people can use it. This data can be used for many, many different things. So anything from your lending and borrowing protocols, even just display prices on different trading platforms, so you know what your values you're trading on, e-commerce sales, for different currency prices. And the big mission is really to be able to provide this type of data to Cardano, to EUTXO platforms, more so than anything else. But primarily to get into a much wider world adoption, not just dealing with the crypto projects and companies that are on Cardano, but big things like insurance and shipping and manufacturing. We have a potential situation going on with patent application processing, things that are continuous business, not reliant on a 4-year Bitcoin cycle, to actually be set up. So that's kind of the big pictures to get mass adoption from TradFi and legacy industries.
Absolutely. Well, it definitely sounds like we may have covered maybe the first two part of the question here as
There's
well.
always more
So,
to talk about.
yeah, no, I mean, if you'd like to expand any more on how you're integrating directly with the blockchain, and if you have any specifics that you'd like to share in terms of how you're enhancing data reliability and security.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, so there's a couple different things, just because, a lot of oracles, even the big ones like Chainlink or Pyth, on different chains, Pyth is a Solana one, they have, off-chain aggregations. Now, gets a little bit more specific, but they do a lot of their data off-chain, so there's not a direct record of it on-chain. And that's typically fine for a lot of, you know, crypto related businesses and projects, because they don't really care. They don't, that governance and regulation isn't there yet to need these records if you get into like a legal battle or something. But getting into, TradFi and legacy type industries, they have to be a lot more compliant and regulatorily compliant and safe. So we have decided to make our entire process on chain. All of our nodes, the entire network that's operating our software, has all of the data records on chain of where they're pulling the data from, how it's happening, and then the aggregation of that final value that people will use also happens on Cardano Ledger. So the entire record is right there for anyone to use, and this is really important for these larger, real world type companies to be able to have. And it does make it a little more expensive. However, you're getting that extra regulation security with that. So we're really excited about that. And as far as just an Oracle being more secure, I mean, we don't take data from any point unless there's at a very minimum 3 sources of that data. Even that we don't like. We want a minimum of 5. So we're not going to be insecure by pulling in very minimal sources of data, because if that one goes down and then somebody uses it, it's wrong or whatever, it's not good. So our mechanism works by having a lot of security features that check the node health, check the API health, the data health that we're pulling from, just to make sure that everything's still running properly. It throws out outlier values that are outside a certain range. We have an interquartile range that deals with that. And then, yeah, we have a usual minimum of 3 nodes as well, because if someone decides to go down or colludes or whatever, that's the consensus. So there's a lot of security features written in the background to make us an oracle instead of just like an API provider, like, CoinGecko. You can go grab an API off of that, but if CoinGecko goes down or one of its values is wrong, they have no security in that. That's not their business. So we have a lot of security written on the back end. Also, if there's less than 2 data sources because other data sources go down, our system has an emergency shutoff. For on-chain values, we directly read the chain instead of API stuff, which we have upgraded from. So again, yeah, lots of different security measures to make sure that everything stays up and running.
Absolutely. So security and peace of mind, they kind of make the world go round, right?
Yeah, that's the whole thing for B2B sales and operations as well. I mean, we launched in 2022 in October, and since then we have a 99.98% uptime of all of our feeds and updates and data accuracy of the same percentage, and that's higher than industry standard. That's more than what Amazon and Microsoft currently have running, and Google. So obviously they've had a lot more time to get that, so it's more impressive on their part. But for us, we still feel very good about it.
Absolutely. So not that there's sales and everything, but sometimes there is. What would you say are some primary use cases of the Charli3 Oracle on Cardano, more so than like insurance and logistics and some of those other industries you mentioned?
Yeah, so currently right now, I mean, we have a couple of different, I wouldn't say partners, but integrators, customers that are using it for different processes. So like Book.io is using it for a lot of their sales to keep their sales in USD. So their token in a USD value. So it always stays stable at USD value, because that's where most of their users are coming from, right? To buy online books and stuff. So that's really important for them, as well as just showing off that value in their internal wallets on their site, so people can see that. And it's regulated through our ADA USD and then the Book USD feeds that they are currently using. Vi Finance uses it for rewards values to keep them stable. Same thing with Drip Drops from a different value perspective through their ISPO situations. And as far as I believe, they could correct me on that. We have the proof of reserve oracle that Meehan is using, or USDM for the new stablecoin USDM. So we present the reserve of their entire bank balances. So that's kind of like a real world integration into crypto side. So we're the source of truth for what's actually held in all of their banks. We're tracking all of that, the transfers between everybody, and then what gets put on chain. So then their protocol can't mint any more than's actually in reserve. So it's 1-to-1 all the time, always. So that's really good. And then people like Liquid, the lending and borrowing, will be using, or is using, our some of our feeds to manage a lot of their lending and borrowing markets. So it's a wide range of use cases that's currently being used on Cardano. Oh, and Steel Swap as well. We just got told that they're using our feeds also for presenting. And some people might think this is a minimal thing. I think it's a big thing. Even just presenting the ADA USD price on the swap, because Steel Swap doesn't need us to present values. They're doing a chain read of what the best values are, just like Dex Hunter and stuff. But on the front of their site, they'll present ADA is this price of USD, and yeah, you can go grab that from CoinGecko, but it might have a 5 to 15 minute delay. It also might go down, which it does frequently. And then you're trading on a value that you trust to trade a certain amount of your tokens that are worth a certain amount of ADA, and it's not correct. And like, that's kind of crap. you know. So with ours, you know, it's being pulled from that ADA USD sources, pulled from 19 different sources and different stable coins to keep it very succinct and accurate. And you know, so you can trust to know that the value that you're trying to trade on is actually correct. So I think that that's a big deal just for usability and optics and everything.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like a super strong foundation there. Again, as a lot of those use cases seem to be leading here, I'm curious if you would choose to highlight any of those as a success story or the most notable project, or if there's something else that you can think of that that matches that definition.
Yeah, I
Utilizing the
think.
Oracle, of course.
Yeah. I think our biggest success story for the Oracle just in general is the ADA USD feed. It's the most robust by far. It's been running over multiple iterations of our network. We've upgraded 3 times since our mainnet launch. Just as far as also just our history, we were the first project to put a smart contract on chain in 2021, right after smart contracts were available. We were the first project to launch live on Cardano mainnet. And like that was really exciting, you know. And then as far as the use case of that ADA USD through multiple iterations has never had a single downtime at all, or wrong value presented. So it has 100% uptime and accurate data accuracy over nearly 2 years now. So that's pretty exciting. And then the next biggest one is just with USDM, because that's the difference, right? That's the big different one, is that we're now reading something that's not actually crypto related whatsoever, right? We're integrating with different bank accounts and different banking systems to pull that in and manage that on chain in a reserve value instead of a constantly changing price value. So I'd say that like those are the two biggest success stories as far as the operations of the system.
Absolutely. I'll give you kind of like the last 2 questions here and let you have some free reign. And if you need me to repeat anything, I can.
Sure.
You know, but what are the future plans for development with Charli3 looking like as far as new features? And how would you say that you engage with the community, and how can they get involved with the work that you're doing?
Yeah, those two kind of go together on certain things that I'll bring up here. So future development, we're still working on some stuff that we had from the last Catalyst round, which was really exciting. All 5 of our proposals last time got funded. So on this transparency thing that we were talking about, as far as and costs and operations and everything, we want to improve a lot of that to be, you know, really competitive in the Oracle space. So one of the big proposals that we had from last time and right now for the next Catalyst round is a Oracle sidechain specifically. So it's a partner chain, Cardano partner chain that we're building out with TX Pipe, the dev shop. And that should be a sidechain utilizing a lot of ZK proofs and stuff, which no other Oracle, including Link, is doing, which would make things a lot faster, more secure, accurate, have a better use case for the token as well, because gas and everything would be paid in our token over there. And then another big easier transparency, more data offerings, faster, cheaper, and a lot easier to adopt. So that's a big one that we're really excited about. The another thing that we're building, another product, is called the ODV, or if people want to go look it up, it's called a pull-based Oracle, but our naming for it, ODV, on-demand validation Oracle, is basically a user can request the price of an asset or something, and then they have to pay for that Oracle update. But say like for a lending and borrowing protocol, instead of it just being an old value that's been posted on chain, you want the most up-to-date thing, you can go and ask for that right away. And it just does a single transaction that goes away. So it's a lot cheaper for protocols, and it can shift the cost onto users for their use cases. So that's pretty exciting. And then our platform where you can see everything going live is called the Charli3 portal. So portal.charli3.io. And this is also where we'll be interacting with a lot more people. Sure, we do Twitter and Discord, and that's usually where like most of the conversation's happening. But we just launched a forum on our portal there for people to come in. And the purpose of this, more so than anything, is also with the DAO that we're launching with Clarity, just working out some final details of having some wallet issues on their site. That's just me though. No one else has had that issue. I think something's wrong with my wallet. So launching a DAO there, it's that holders of the Charli3 token can come in and help vote on, say, like which feeds we would launch next, because we have some catalyst funding to launch free ones for the community. So it's really great to hear from other people that are involved with different projects that I might not have spoken to yet that need specific data feeds. That they can come in and say, hey, this project needs this. They don't really have the funding to help with it, so let's launch this one. And people can vote on that, or, you know, where the direction of the DAO should go, or anything like that. So we'll never be fully decentralized governance in that way, because the B2B, like the infrastructure, is too like sensitive to leave up to other people. But there are certain things that we want the community input on, that makes more sense for things like our community feeds that are like running from Catalyst money. So that's kind of the quick versions of that for next products, and the more like things that are coming up right away for people to use. We do have a little bit more security coming in with upgrades to our DEX aggregator and things on the back end. It just makes things a lot easier to read and potentially cheaper. And we're excited to see what the Chang hard fork brings for our operations as well. So we'll have a report out on that when we figure out exactly how it changes everything. And the final last thing I'll say that we haven't actually really announced yet, other than a little teaser I put on the forum through a riddle. I like to do riddles, so usually for prizes. So I had a little unscramble word, and it's our node sale is coming soon. So it will be limited spots, but we'll open that up to people to apply for and be able to come and run a Charli3 node to help decentralize the network more and give more rewards back to the community, and being able to interact that way, because that's something we know that we've been lacking on, but we wanted to really make sure that the security of our network was solid before we started bringing in more external operators. And now with the time and accuracy that we've had up, we feel comfortable in doing that. So we're starting to onboard people yesterday, but the next set will be open to more people. So that's another big thing that's coming up.
Wonderful. Well, lots of big things going on with Charli3, and definitely appreciate you, Damon, taking some time with us here. We will definitely be looking at integrating this with our product support services, which I think, if I'm understanding correctly, should help as far as any concerns that where you may not be decentralized, right? You get that opportunity to kind of not wipe it away or hide it away, but by being a part or collaborating with other projects that we onboard as well, everyone's working together decentralized through Intersect there, and so that shouldn't necessarily interfere with the day-to-day operations of your business or of your DAO. So definitely appreciate you bringing some of those things to light. For everybody, for our audience here, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to hear anything else more from Damon or from Charli3, or if you just want to stay up to date, make sure that you're subscribed. Go ahead and give us a like, a comment, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.